Hello and welcome to today's reading of the book Old Mother West Wind by Thornton W. Burgess. Join me and my animal friends as we have adventures in the springtime. I wonder who's having an adventure today? And unfortunately this book is broken because I didn't take very good care of it. It kind of came apart. But today we are reading about Mrs. Redwing's speckled egg. Old Mother West Wind came down from the purple hills in the golden light of the early morning. Over her shoulders was slung a bag, a great big bag, and in the bag were all of Old Mother West Wind's children, the Merry Little Breezes. Old Mother West Wind came down from the purple hills to the green meadows, and as she walked she crooned a song. Ships upon the ocean wait, I must hurry, hurry on. Mills are idle if I'm late, I must hurry, hurry on. When she reached the green meadows, Old Mother West Wind opened her bag, turned it upside down, and shook it. Out tumbled all the Merry Little Breezes, and began to spin round and round for very joy. For you see, they were to play in the green meadows all day long until Old Mother West Wind should come back at night and take them all to their home behind the purple hills. First they raced over to see Johnny Chuck. They found Johnny Chuck sitting just outside his door eating his breakfast. One, for very mischief, snatched right out of Johnny Chuck's mouth the green leaf of corn he was eating, and ran away with it. Another playfully pulled his whiskers, while a third rumpled up his hair. Johnny Chuck pretended to be very cross indeed, but really he didn't mind a bit, for Johnny Chuck loved the Merry Little Breezes, and played with them every day. And if they teased Johnny Chuck, they were good to him too. When they saw Farmer Brown coming across the green meadows with a gun, one of them would dance over to Johnny Chuck and whisper to him that Farmer Brown was coming, and then Johnny Chuck would hide away, deep down in his snug little home underground, and Farmer Brown would wonder and wonder why it was that he never could get near enough to shoot Johnny Chuck. But he never could. When the Merry Little Breezes left Johnny Chuck, they raced across the green meadows to the Smiling Pool to say good morning to Grandfather Frog, who sat on a big lily pad watching for green flies for breakfast. "Chug-a-rum," said Grandfather Frog, which was his way of saying good morning. There's a picture of old Grandfather Frog. Just then along came a fat green fly, and up jumped Grandfather Frog. When he sat down again on the lily pad, the fat green fly was nowhere to be seen. But Grandfather Frog looked very well satisfied indeed, as he contentedly rubbed his white waistcoat with one hand. "What is the news, Grandfather Frog?" cried the Merry Little Breezes. "Mrs. Redwing has a new speckled egg in her nest in the bulrushes," said Grandfather Frog. "We must see it," cried the Merry Little Breezes, and away they all ran to the swamp where the bulrushes grow. Now someone else had heard of Mrs. Redwing's little nest in the bulrushes, and he had started out bright and early that morning to try to find it, for he wanted to steal the speckled little eggs just because they were pretty. It was Tommy Brown, the farmer's boy. What do we do when we see a bird's nest? Do we try to touch the eggs? Nope. If we touch the eggs, then the mama birds might not want them anymore and the little baby birds will die. So we don't touch the eggs. Unless they're chicken's eggs and you're harvesting them to eat. When the Merry Little Breezes reached the swamp where the bulrushes grow, they found poor Mrs. Redwing in great distress. She was afraid that Tommy Brown would find her little nest, for he was very near it, and his eyes were very sharp. "Oh," cried the Merry Little Breezes, "we must help Mrs. Redwing save her pretty speckled eggs from bad Tommy Brown." So one of the Merry Little Breezes whisked Tommy Brown's old straw hat off his head over into the green meadows. Of course Tommy ran after it. Just as he stooped to pick it up, another little breeze ran away with it. They took turns, first one little breeze, then another little breeze, running away with the old straw hat, just as Tommy Brown would almost get his hands on it. Down past the Smiling Pool and across the Laughing Brook they raced and chased the old straw hat, Tommy Brown running after it very cross, very red in the face, and breathing very hard. Way across the Green Meadows they ran, to the edge of the wood, where they hung the old straw hat in the middle of a thorn tree. By the time Tommy Brown had it once more on his head, he had forgotten all about Mrs. Redwing and her little nest. Besides, he heard the breakfast horn blowing just then, so off he started for home up the lone little path through the wood. And all the Merry Little Breezes danced away across the Green Meadows to the swamp where the bulrushes grow, to see the new speckled egg in the little nest where Mrs. Redwing was singing for joy. And while she sang, the Merry Little Breezes danced among the bulrushes, for they knew, and Mrs. Redwing knew, that some day out of that pretty new speckled egg would come a wee baby Redwing. The end. And that was the first story in the Old Mother West Wind book. I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope you'll join me next time as we learn about how Reddy Fox was surprised.